This is my attempt at challenge 1.9 on time. And for this one, I have three main points to a speech that I'm going to give as a wedding toast. And in this sort of 3 to 5 minute time frame, I do my best to cover these 3 points on time. So the first point is my brother is lucky to have found his wife. My second point is my brother's new wife is lucky to have found him. And third, they are lucky to share life together. So those are my 3 points, and I'm going to read a wedding speech that I've prepared to really hit upon those 3 points. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, friends and relatives. My name's Chris Mason, and I have the honor of being both the brother of the groom and his best man. So on behalf of the groom and bride, I'd like to thank you all for coming. I'm sure we can all agree that this is turning out to be an amazing event. And of course, I'll try my best not to change that or ruin that. So first, my brother. I just have to say, this was an absolutely beautiful wedding ceremony. Thank you for inviting all of us to take part in this with you. And of course, to your new wife, thank you so much for having us here. Now, in preparation for this speech, I actually read several Russian proverbs. And the reason I did that is because I know the two of you met in the land of Russia. And so I thought, why not start there and see if we can gain any wisdom from the land where where you met and your love began. And for example, I read one, better a dove on the plate than a wood grouse in the mating place, which apparently is the Russian equivalent of saying better a bird in the hand than two in the bush, although it sounds, at least to us, a little sillier. Another one was, one does not go to Tula with one's own samovar. So here we begin to see some depth in Russian wisdom, since as everyone knows, the city of Tula is famous for its samovars, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, I struggled to find anything that was very deep or with a lot of wisdom until I came across one poem that I thought did really capture the essence of the moment tonight. And it simply said, after a storm comes fair weather, and after sorrow comes joy. And I thought, that is fitting, I think, for the two of you entering into marriage together. Life is filled with its ups and downs. But my brother, I'm so glad that you have found your joy to share this life with. Your wife is smart, she's beautiful, she's funny, and she's certainly adventuresome. And perhaps most impressive is that she's already learned to embrace you, us, and shall we say the many eccentricities of our family. So you are so lucky to have her in your life. And of course, I could go on listing her good qualities all night, but I think I'm going to take a moment to list a few of yours. And of course, for you, I'll only need a few more minutes. That's a joke. Actually, in all honesty, I could talk about some of your great qualities for a very long time. I'm very lucky to be your brother. But here's 3 things that I think make joy and happen in your life and your wife lucky to have you. First of all, I think you're pretty much a genius. And I can't tell how many times I've bragged about you to others and how smart I think you are. You're just an amazing person in that way. But also what I love about you is you can really entertain a group. You're funny, you're witty, you have a terrific sense of humor, you're just likable. And I think that's all the more amazing given that you are actually pretty much a genius. There aren't that many people great at all those things. And finally, though, you're a man of great integrity and loyalty. And I do think when you put that all together, you make somebody very, very important to be with. And so I think you are just as lucky. Well, you're just as lucky to have your wife in your life. She's just as lucky to have you. And finally, though, you're lucky to have each other. You're lucky to be able to share life together. And I'm proud that I can be here at this moment when this begins. And so I'd like to make a toast now to the two of you, to sharing life together, to finding joy. And so please, everyone, raise your glasses and join me in a toast to the bride and groom. May you always weather the storms of your lives together, and afterwards continue in the joy that first brought you together in marriage on this absolutely beautiful day. So that's my attempt to say my brother's lucky to have found his wife. My brother's new wife is lucky to have found him. And they are lucky to share in this life together.